Which containerization strategy does your business need? Docker and Kubernetes are often presented as rivals competing for the same role in modern infrastructure. That idea creates confusion for businesses making critical technology decisions in 2026. The reality is much simpler. Docker and Kubernetes are not direct competitors. They solve different problems and are frequently used together. Docker focuses on packaging and running applications inside containers. Kubernetes focuses on orchestrating and managing those containers at scale across multiple machines. Understanding this distinction is essential because containerization is no longer an optional technology. In 2026, containerized workloads have become the baseline for modern enterprise infrastructure. Whether organizations operate in the cloud, on-premises, or across multiple providers, containers have become the standard method for delivering software consistently and efficiently. The challenge is deciding how much infrastructure management your business actually needs. Choose an architecture that's too simple, and you risk accumulating technical debt that becomes expensive to fix later. Choose an architecture that's too complex, and you may spend years paying for infrastructure, management, and cloud resources that your business never truly needed. To understand where each tool fits, let's start with Docker. Docker revolutionized application deployment by allowing developers to package code, dependencies, libraries, and runtime environments into lightweight containers that run consistently across different systems. For local development, Docker remains one of the most valuable tools available. Developers can build applications on their laptops, test them in isolated environments, and ensure the exact same configuration works in staging and production. Docker Compose extends this capability by allowing multiple services to run together. A developer can launch a web application, database, cache server, and messaging system with a single command. For single-node deployments, internal applications, development environments, proof of concepts, and small production workloads, Docker and Docker Compose often provide everything a business needs. One of Docker's biggest advantages is its low resource overhead. A startup can deploy containers on a single virtual machine, avoid unnecessary complexity, and focus resources on product development rather than infrastructure management. Small teams benefit from rapid prototyping, faster deployments, simplified operations, and lower cloud costs. When traffic levels remain predictable and deployment frequency stays manageable, Docker's streamlined approach delivers tremendous efficiency. However, growth changes everything. As applications attract more users, teams begin deploying more frequently, and infrastructure expands beyond a single server. This is where manual container management becomes a bottleneck. A team might start with 5 containers, then 10, then 50, then hundreds. At that point, manually restarting failed services, balancing traffic, scheduling updates, and managing availability across multiple servers becomes increasingly difficult. The challenge is no longer containerization. The challenge becomes orchestration. Instead of managing individual containers one by one, organizations must manage the desired state of an entire application ecosystem spread across a distributed cluster of machines. This is the problem Kubernetes was built to solve. Kubernetes shifts infrastructure management from manual operations to declarative control. Rather than telling the platform exactly how to run every container, teams define the desired outcome. For example, they might specify that 10 application instances should always be running. If a server fails, Kubernetes automatically replaces affected workloads. If traffic spikes, Kubernetes can scale additional instances. If a deployment introduces errors, Kubernetes can roll back changes. The system continuously works to maintain the declared state without requiring constant human intervention. These self-healing capabilities are one of Kubernetes' most powerful advantages. When containers crash, Kubernetes restarts them. When nodes fail, workloads are rescheduled. When applications need updates, Kubernetes performs automated rollouts with minimal disruption. For organizations operating under strict uptime requirements and high availability service level agreements, these capabilities are not merely convenient, they are essential. This marks the transition from a developer's laptop to a global production environment. On a laptop, a single container can be managed manually. Across regions, availability zones, and cloud providers, Orchestration becomes mandatory. The benefits of Kubernetes are substantial, but they come with trade-offs. Docker is relatively simple to learn and deploy. A developer can become productive with Docker in a matter of hours. Kubernetes introduces a significantly steeper learning curve. Teams must understand pods, deployments, services, ingress controllers, networking policies, persistent storage, observability, security controls, and cluster operations. The administrative burden can be considerable. Many organizations underestimate the expertise required to operate Kubernetes effectively. This leads directly to another critical factor: cost. Businesses often assume Kubernetes automatically reduces expenses. In reality, costs depend heavily on implementation choices. Managed Kubernetes services reduce operational complexity but introduce recurring platform fees and infrastructure overhead. Self-managed clusters eliminate some subscription costs but require experienced engineers to maintain security, upgrades, monitoring, and reliability. In today's high-interest economic climate, infrastructure efficiency matters more than ever. The true cost calculation must include engineering time, operational risk, cloud resources, downtime exposure, and long-term scalability. This creates the central trade-off. Docker offers the simplicity of a single server and minimal operational overhead. Kubernetes provides the resilience of a distributed network capable of surviving failures, scaling automatically, and supporting multi-cloud deployments. One approach optimizes simplicity. The other optimizes reliability and scale. So how do businesses decide? Use this checklist. Choose Docker if traffic is relatively low or predictable. The application can comfortably run on one server. The engineering team consists of fewer than 10 people. Deployments occur weekly or less frequently. Infrastructure costs must remain minimal. Fast development and rapid iteration are top priorities. Choose Kubernetes if applications serve large or rapidly growing user bases. High availability is a contractual requirement. Multiple environments must remain synchronized. Teams deploy code daily or multiple times per day. Workloads require automatic scaling. Infrastructure spans multiple servers, regions, or cloud providers. Downtime creates significant business risk. For many organizations, the answer is neither Docker alone nor Kubernetes alone. The most common modern approach is hybrid. Docker remains the packaging standard. Developers build container images using Docker. Those images are then deployed and managed by Kubernetes. Docker handles application portability. Kubernetes handles operational complexity. Together, they create a complete container platform. Looking ahead to 2026 and beyond, the smartest strategy is to build with future growth in mind. Startups and small businesses should not feel pressured to adopt Kubernetes prematurely. Docker provides an excellent foundation for rapid innovation. As operational requirements increase, organizations can gradually introduce orchestration without rebuilding their applications. At the same time, enterprises should avoid treating Kubernetes as a default choice without evaluating actual business needs. Complexity should only be added when complexity solves a real problem. The future-proof roadmap is straightforward. Containerize applications from day one. Standardize deployments with Docker. Automate delivery pipelines early. Monitor growth metrics carefully. Introduce Kubernetes when scale, availability requirements, and deployment velocity justify orchestration. The goal is not to choose the most advanced technology. The goal is to choose the right level of infrastructure for your current stage while preserving the flexibility to evolve as your business grows. In the end, Docker and Kubernetes are not opponents. Docker packages applications. Kubernetes operates them at scale. Understanding where one ends and the other begins is the key to building efficient, resilient infrastructure in 2026. If this breakdown helped clarify your infrastructure strategy, subscribe for more enterprise tech, cloud architecture, DevOps, and AI infrastructure insights. Leave a comment with your team size, traffic volume, and deployment frequency, and share which path you're considering: Docker, Kubernetes, or a hybrid approach.